This is your daily market review for Tuesday, May 21st, 2024. Let's go. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent. This is your daily market review for Tuesday, May 21st, 2024. Hopefully you're having a great day, great week, and doing well. Thanks for taking some time to chat and hang out and check out what we got going on. So what do we know about the market? We know Nvidia's earnings are coming tomorrow after the close. You got the FOMC minutes. You have kind of a vacuum of data until next week going on. And so we have the end of the month coming up. And again, as we've talked about, months that have had big up usually sell. Months that have had big down usually have short covering. Again, there's usually this reversion to the mean into the end of the month. However, at the moment, doesn't really look like there's anything slowing down. So if you have questions, concerns, thoughts, ideas about what potentially is going to happen, please feel free to reach out. Because again, my thinking, whether the market goes down or not, here's the question we've talked about. The market isn't the economy. Do not be surprised if it's going to be volatile. I do see a massive recession coming, or it's already here actually, if they didn't fudge the data. But let's see what happens here. Because again, if the Feds continue to spend money, print money, cut rates, who knows what's going to happen near term. But if they do decide to cut rates, we've always seen that the first rate cut typically is a sell the news because of they're anticipating pain. You know what I mean? So let's go into the charts and just see. Again, every trade is different. Define your risk. Do not marry anything if it's not working, right? Like that's the definition of insanity, is doing something and expecting different results. If it's not working, get out, raise your stops, define your risk. So if you got questions, reach out. Always here to help. Follow, like, subscribe on Twitter, YouTube as well. I appreciate it. Hit the notification bell so that you can get your notifications of live chats on when videos come out. Also, check out the Back to Basics series. That's also on my website, tradingagent.com, and all sorts of fun other stuff worth checking out. Trust me, it is well worth it. And also, if you ever need a chat, link for the calendar is below. We can always figure out a time to connect. Always here to help. So, CME Watch Tool, we know there's not really a rate cut expected till September. That's a long time. That's the whole summer. Scary. Sell in May and go away, or what now, right? Like we're back at the highs. Bitcoin continues to get stuck at the 71,000 area. Worth the watch. Our friend oil, chopping around, holding support. Natural gas, I wouldn't be surprised near term if there's a pullback, right? You get the doji after a good move. We've talked about this. Like again, long term, we said there's no downside, really. I mean, there always is potentiality because, again, we don't trade in absolutes, but the likelihood of massive downside at $1.60 was not in the cards, in my opinion. We got the rally coming up to, look where it comes into, right? Pretty much resistance. All right, let's see what happens here. Take a pause. If you have any questions about this trade, holler. This is probably one of the easier, better trades. Now, at this point, near term, I don't know. You got to define what you want to do. If you want to disappear for a year with this trade, makes sense. If you don't and you want to try to trade it, well, then you got to manage your position, right? So anyway, dollar looks like it's flagging after, it's been on a nice run, right? But now you're making lower lows, lower highs. I would watch for the bottom drop out. Again, me personally, my thoughts on the dollar, it's just worth watching. It's going to be volatile. Be safe. TLT breaks the downtrend, hits the 200-day, chopping around. Another one that, again, lower rates to me would suggest that the economy is weakening. Oh, they're controlling the inflation. Yes and no. It depends on the speed, right? If rates go down slowly, yeah, they've done it. But if rates drop dramatically, it means they've lost control and people are scrambling, right? So worth an eye. The VIX, I can't believe they're getting it down this low at the end of the month. Look at this. I'm like whispering, like, do you guys see this? Holy shiitake mushrooms. Yet people are like, you bullish yet? And I'm like, why would I be bullish here? I'm more neutral to looking to short, right? Like, it's like chasing anything. Why would you chase the VIX? How would you sell it short here? Oh, no, not in a million years. Talk about the VIVX kind of leading. Seems to have found the bottom. Worth the watch. SPY guy, holding up. Making, I don't know, closing right at the highs. Worth the watch. See what happens manana. QQQ, closing at new highs. Got to give, again, credit where credit's due. People are like, oh, you've been wrong or you're wrong. Being wrong, define wrong. Some trades work, some haven't. Overall, yeah, it's a big choppy slop zone. Like here you go, IWM, chopping, going nowhere. DIA, Dia high, dia low, dia. Chopping at the highs. Worth a watch. Gold comes into the range highs. Worth a watch. This is a double top or a breakout. I mean, these levels make it very binary, right? Silver, new highs. And we talked about this yesterday. This doji, you didn't make new highs. So it's confirmed by the next high. Like you got to make higher highs, right? You need to show demand, right? That's what his demand would show. Like if there's demand, it will make new highs, right? People will see value and they think, well, it's going much higher. I'm buying it. GDX broke out. Keep it honest. Is this a trap or a continuation play, right? GDXJ. Again, we've talked about why these things are sell the news with the market gets smoked down. GDX, same thing. I mean, J, watch it. Another 2-day range. Keep an eye on it. AEM broke out. Same kind of thing. I mean, this is one of the names I really like long term. AG has been acting really funky. Funky Cole Medina, not making new highs. Newmont gets up into the range highs, makes new highs. Worth a watch because if it breaks over it, it's going higher. PAAS acting much better. We've talked about again. If you're wrong on the miners and you bought dust, it's okay. Hopefully you stopped out. Like I told you, put a stop at 7 and just see what happens. If you're looking at certainty as like all or nothing, black and white trading, I'm just telling you, you're not doing the right thing for your mind. Because again, if you knew anything for certain, you'd be a billionaire. No one does. No one does. Taiwan Semi, been holding up after it pulled back. You got a multi-day range here. This candle is going to be a beast to get through. So we'll keep an eye on it. Again, it probably has a lot to do with what Nvidia is up to, right? Same thing with MU. Like, is it really going to break out until Nvidia announces AMZN? I know, what's her name? Bought more shares, 10,000 shares of them. What's her dang name? All of a sudden, I can't remember. Kathy Wood. Watching the 100-day. We know Nvidia has earnings after the close tomorrow. I mean, everybody and their mom expecting the beat. We'll see if it does. Chopping back at the highs, y'all. SMCMI, 20-day, chopping around, bounces over it. Now you got to watch the 900. It's just a big slop. And we've talked about big moves and digestion. That's the problem here. Intellectual property, people are talking about buying it for the long run. Again, we said it was a trade. I don't think I'd buy it for the long run. I personally don't have any faith in intellectual property figuring it out. And if they do, great. Well, you have a reference here. I'd expect some sort of retest in the low, 30, 29 range at some point if you really got to buy it. SMH, chopping around at the highs is what it is. Adobes, we've talked about the Adobe. Chopping 20-day. The fruit, trying to build more short up here, but don't like today's action. Again, this is why you don't all or nothing trade. You don't go say, all right, 190, I'm all in. Because sometimes this is what this happens. You get traps, you get trapped. There's traps, getting trapped, and sometimes you just got to be patient. So define your risk. I mean, I like the short here. Someone will go, oh, you said go all in. I'm like, no, everyone says, I never say all in. Here's an example of a trap. Kind of looks like it's breaking out. Give it back under the 20-day. Watch Amazon. Meta, we've liked this one in the 470s. Hit the zone. But again, at this point, I wouldn't call it bearish because, again, you're chopping around. There's no volume. There's no price action continuation. You're just holding support. CRM, gaps down. Now chopping at the 20-day. The Guggenheim, making new highs. I mean, again, credit where credit's due. Microsoft, we talked about that 415 area once it got over it. Interesting close, but it's one I would just keep an eye on. NDAQ, right? We talked about this one. Chopping around. Not much to say. MicroStrategy. Are you surprised it hits back near the top of the range and there's going to be a pullback? I mean, you go from 1,000 up to 17, 31. I wouldn't be surprised if it has a little shakeout here near term. Netflix making new highs. I think there's some news here, but worth watching. Again, if you're short it, you got stopped out. I mean, that's part of the game. Roblox. It's just like buying at the lows. Like sometimes you're going to get stopped out and it'll go a little lower and people are like, oh, so it's got to go higher or go lower. It's like, it's the game they play at these extremes, right? Roblox, chopping around. Pan W had earnings. I didn't even really look at the numbers. I don't care. I know Nancy Pelosi's buying. We talked about it hitting the next resistance, backing off. Again, I will go all big if the market pulls back. If it's not, I'm just kind of letting it do its thing, watching it. Tesla, nice bounce back to the 100-day. I don't know what the news was on them today, but this is what it is. DKNG, we talked about this one hitting 45, seems to be getting stuck. Airbnb gaps down on earnings. New lows. keep an eye on it. Again, there's a lot of confusion in the market. Things don't look as clean as think people try to perceive. Costco, new highs. Big China play, I guess. I don't know. Starbucks, talked about this thing being an absolute global indicator of growth. Gaps down, but what do we say? Don't be surprised. It goes from 107 down to 72. Is it due to bounce? Chop around? Yeah. FedEx. Look at this. I mean, here you go. This is hard to watch. Like, if the market's economy is great, why is FedEx just melting? Caterpillar holding up pretty darn well. Chopping around. Nothing really say. Nucor. We like material names long run. Just watching them. 200. There's nothing here in my mind that's like going, jump in. Short, long. Again, I don't even really want to short commodities. Letter X, you got to hold that 36 area. It's just trying. VALE, we talked about long term. It's probably good. Brazil's a little sketchy right now. 12 range, somewhere in there makes sense. Good old arrow. We like copper a lot. Back at the highs. Watch. CCJ breaking out, looking like it, but now you got like double dojis. We said it like you wanted to see continuation. That looks like a trap. And again, I'm going to put an arrow on this and just kind of see if this confirms. Because if you have a doji sandwich, it should go higher. We gapped down and then we broke over it and then gave it all back. Like, it feels very sneaky. Like somebody's like, yeah, bring it up, sell it. Bring it up, sell it. CF, we like ag long term. I think they're just in big chop zones. Mosaic, same thing. NTR, same thing. Aaron, chop. But holding up. Not chop. Sorry, I'm thinking about the NTR ones. Damn, aluminum. Catching it. Catching that bid. Huh. Well, if you're bullish it, I would just keep an eye on. I know you got gaps in here. It's always possible to make a run up here. I mean, this is the next resistance zone, in my opinion, of any. So you have a VAP zone here, and then you have resistance here. I mean, congrats if you're long it. I'm just kind of trying to think of outside the box here. Like, this is a big run for a stock that size. So keep an eye on it. XLF dropped yesterday with a JP Morgan saying he's not buying, or Chase guys not buying back more of their stock. Looked like an engulfing bar, but we said the volume wasn't heavy, so don't be surprised if it chops. Well, there you go. It chopped. JP Mo, speaking of Jamie Dimon, hits the 20-day. Little inside day. Not much you can say there. Stanley Morgan Stanley. Man, that wick is a little sick. Keep an eye on it. I mean, if you look at the 10-minute, I mean, it's like huge. Look at that thing. Like, it's like a freaking sword with a handle, right? Keep an eye on it. Bank of America closed near the high of the day. Is that a breakout? I don't know. Goldman Sachs. I know people think about shorting it up here. You got a reference. Watch the 470s. Carry, we talked about this being a dog, bouncing around, chopping around. Watch this 50 area. It's really important. XBI, risk on, universally risk on, like baby bios. Talked about the bounce. You got it. And now you're watching the 100-day. I mean, it's a multi-day range. If it fails it, it's going to cook. That could be down. And again, if it's basing before it goes higher, that's always possible too. Solar, TAN, chopping around. I mean, there's not much to say about these names. They're turds. Sedge, ENPH, chopping. It looks like, again, here's where solar's so damn hard. I saw this and I was like, not going to jump in front of that. But it does tend to have these big candles. So I'd be watching for multi-day ranges up here. Like if it tries to like little peek around, that's what I would be looking for. Again, this is part of trading. It's if you're looking for certainty, go buy some guru's book and just think that you will find it. It's a probability game. HYG, you got to be high out of your mind buying corporate debt. Oil, talked about it, chopping around. UNG, not a big fan of the way of playing natural gas to UNG, but again, keep an eye on it. KOLD was our favorite in the 80s, this upper 70s. I would take a little profit here. I mean, again, you got to take profits, harvest, and then trade around your position. XOP, talking about the 20-day. This one's loves to peek over it. Keep an eye on this stuff, right? CVE, we've liked this one, but in the 20s, it's after a big run. It's due to consolidate. Valero, talked about the gasoline names leading up and down. Oversold bounce for them, and MPC, but MPC didn't really bounce that much at all. So just worth an eye. ExxonMobil, I don't know why I say all these funny, stupid things, but it comes natural, chopping, chop, chop. I mean, those are new all-time highs, or it's just basing to go down. I mean, that's my opinion. Like it should be very binary. Buffett hits the sell zone when the oxy comes back. EQT, we're not a fan of buying until it's like, I don't know, until all this kind of washes out. I like this name long term, but it just looks like a big ass consolidation phase. So I'm watching. I mean, I've got my alarm down at 28. If it happens, it happens. Last but not least, Flex LNG. We like this one long term because I think we'll be natural gas and exporters. Okay. If you have any questions, please reach out. Let me know how I can help you. If you're looking to buy, sell, invest in real estate, I got you. Take time, hit the Calendly link. Let's figure it out. Let me know what I can do to be whatever you need for. All right. Talk to you guys and gals later. Have a great afternoon.